I'm Josh Rine, licensed professional counselor, and this is what happens after you react. Control the mental loop and stop overthinking. At this point in the series, you understand the loop. You know it replays, it amplifies, and it trains your next reaction. But none of that matters if you don't know how to stop it when it's happening. Because awareness without interruption still leaves you stuck. Most people try to stop overthinking the wrong way. They say, I just need to stop thinking about it. And what happens? They think about it more. Because you can't shut your mind off with a command. So instead of stopping the loop, they fight it. And fighting it keeps it active. You don't stop the loop by force. You interrupt the loop with structure. Here's the key moment. There is always a point where you become aware that you're in it. Not at the beginning, but somewhere in the middle. You notice, I'm thinking about this again. That moment is everything, because that's where interruption becomes possible. You can't control the first thought, but you can control what happens after you notice it. I'm going to give you a simple structure, not complicated, not abstract, something that you can actually use. When you get that point where you notice that you're thinking about it again, or that you're in the loop, say it directly. This is the loop. Not, I need to stop, not, this is bad. Just simply, this is the loop. Why? Because labeling it creates separation. You're no longer inside of it, you're observing it. You don't need to go back through the conversation again. So interrupt the replay with a question. Do I need to review this again right now? And most of the time, the answer is going to be no. The loop keeps things wide and scattered. Control requires a narrowing and focus. So ask, what is one thing I would do differently? Not 10 things, not everything, just one thing out of the event that you would do differently. What that does is it creates clarity. Once you've identified that one adjustment, you leave the loop. You don't stay there. You don't keep reviewing. You move forward, physically, mentally, and behaviorally. Because staying in the loop after clarity reactivates it. So here's a real example. Let's walk this out a little bit. You replay a conversation. Maybe something like, I should have said that differently. You notice it. Step 1, this is the loop. Step 2, do I need to go through this again right now? No. Step 3, what's one thing I'd do differently in a similar situation in the future? I'd slow down before responding. Step 4, you leave it. That's it. No spiral, no over-analysis. You extracted the lesson without reinforcing the loop. Now, I know this sounds simple, and it may even feel a little overwhelming, but the point is to exit the loop as quickly as possible. People tend to stay too long. They get insight and then keep thinking. And that puts them right back in it. Insight is your exit point from the loop. Once you've gained the knowledge, once you've identified something that you can improve upon, or something that you could do differently for a more positive outcome in a similar event in the future, there's no longer any use to being in the loop. It's not a starting point for more thinking. It's a simple identification and then moving forward with the new information. This works because you interrupt repetition, you create structure, you reduce emotional activation because you're looking at your thoughts as opposed to looking through your thoughts. By creating that point of separation, it allows for the reduction in emotional activation. You're not trying to eliminate thinking. You're simply just guiding it. Control is not stopping your thoughts. Control is directing your thoughts in a way that leads to the most positive outcome for you in the situation that you're in. The moment you structure your thinking, you begin to weaken that loop. This is how you stop. Replay, amplification, shame, and pattern reinforcement. All of it depends on this skill, interruption. If you want to actually train this skill, not just understand it, go to pauseandrespond.com. That's where you'll find the book, Pause and Respond, and workbooks designed to help you apply this in real situations. Because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build real skills for real situations that allow us to have real positive outcomes and changes in our lives. We can't be upset about the results that we didn't get for the work that we didn't do. So I encourage you to go beyond awareness and really move into application on these skill sets. Because this level of control is built through one thing, and that's repetition. Intention alone is not enough. This is episode 7 of What Happens After You React. Control the mental loop and stop overthinking. If you're serious about gaining control after the moment, not just during it, stay with the series. Because next we break down how to replace the loop entirely with structured thinking that actually builds control. Less reaction, more choice.